The regular meeting of the Bellflower City Council is called to order on Monday, March 23rd, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez,
Here.
Councilmember Dutton, Councilmember Coops,
Here.
Councilmember Morse,
Here.
Mayor Santinas.
Here. Can I have a motion to excuse the absence of Councilmember Danton?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez, seconded by Councilmember Coops, to excuse the absence of of Councilmember Danton, and without
Emeritus.
objection, that will be the order. Closed session items. Mr. Smoot.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The council recessed to closed session for 4 items, 3A, B, C, and D, as listed on the agenda.
Any recusals?
No.
I don't see anyone here from the public to make a comment, so with that, we will now recess to closed session.
Oh, boy.
Good evening, Bellflower. The regular meeting of the Bellflower City Council is called to order on Monday, March 23rd, 2026 at 7:03 p.m. We are reconvening from the regular session, coming back from the closed session, and there are no reportable actions taken during the closed session. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez,
Here.
Councilmember Dutton, Councilmember Coops,
Here.
Councilmember Morse,
Here.
Mayor Santinas.
Here. We have a motion to excuse the absence of Councilmember Ray Danton.
I'll move it. Second.
Oh, sorry.
Motion by Councilmember Coop, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez to excuse the absence of Councilmember Ray Danton. And without objection, that will be the order. All right, tonight's invocation will be led by me, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by
Perfect.
PJ Malena, our Director of Parks and Recreation. Please rise. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life, the gift of this wonderful community called the City of Bellflower. We thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon us. We thank you for giving us wonderful residents of the city. We thank you for giving us our dedicated staff. We thank you also for giving us our first responders, our members of our military. As we gather today, please bless the members of our military, especially those who are assigned abroad. Please bring them home safely. Also, we pray for Victor Sanchez's mother, who's under the weather. And also, we're praying for Larry Wihage, who's celebrating his 78th birthday today. We also ask you to please bless those who are homeless, who are hungry, who are ill, who are unemployed. Please give them the blessings and the comfort that they so much need. As we gather today to discuss the items before us, please guide us, enlighten us, and give us the wisdom to decide what is best for the city. We ask all this in your mighty name. Amen.
Please place your right hand over your heart and join with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, PJ. Council comments. I'm going to start off. This is very exciting. The City of Bellflower invites 3rd to 6th grade students attending any school in Bellflower to participate in an art competition on Saturday, May 2nd at Sims Park Auditorium, located at 16614 South Clark Avenue. The following art subjects will be assigned to each grade level. For 3rd graders, Underwater Adventure. For 4th graders, The Great Outdoors. For 5th graders, Imaginary World. And for 6th graders, City of Bellflower Community. Students may create paintings, drawings, or collages within these themes. Art will be judged based on creativity, quality, clarity, and overall presentation. The first place winner for each grade level will receive a trophy, and their artwork will be displayed at the Bellflower City Hall. All participants will receive a certificate of participation. Participants must pre-register on the Parks and Recreation page at bellflower.ca.org or in person at Carruthers, Sims, or Thompson Parks during regular hours. Registration closes on Monday, April 13th. For more information, please call 562-804-1424, extension 2210. Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, Bellflower. The Bellflower Looking Better program is expanding its 2026 with updated guidelines and enhanced services. This long-standing residential improvement initiative supports community beautification by coordinating community yard sales and providing free trash dumpsters to help residents remove unwanted items from their properties. Residents who wish to participate in the neighborhood yard sale must pre-register online and host the sale at their residence. Sales will be held from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. within designated neighborhood boundaries. To encourage participation, the city will promote each event through yard sale signage and social media outreach. On the Saturday following each yard sale, free dumpsters will be available for residents to dispose of the remaining items. Please note that the hazardous materials, electronic waste, tires, oil, and construction debris will not be accepted. For additional information, please contact the Volunteer Center at 562-804-1424, extension 2331. And I will be handling Councilmember Dutton's as well, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, go ahead.
The City of Bellflower's Economic Development Department is launching the spring 2026 session of Maker to Market, an in-person program designed to help aspiring entrepreneurs turn ideas into viable businesses. The city has partnered with the Long Beach City College Small Business Development Center, Iron Fire Workspace, and the Bellflower Farm and Craft Market to guide participants through key steps towards achieving their entrepreneurial goals. Beginning Monday, April 13th, participants will learn how to fund their ventures and successfully sell products at local farmers markets, night markets, and swap meets. Over the 6-week course, attendees will gain practical insight into business planning, product sourcing, cost considerations, and marketing to the local community. Space is limited and pre-registration is encouraged. For registration and for more information, please call 562-804-1424, extension 2249. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Victor. Councilmember Dan Coops.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bellflower residents are invited to take advantage of the city's upcoming community compost pickup event at Palm Park, located at 9245 Palm Street. That'll be held from March 27 through April the 3rd. Funded by Cal Recycle, this free program provides high-quality compost to help enrich your garden while reducing landfill waste and greenhouse gas emissions. Composting turns food scraps, yard trimmings, and other plant-based materials into nutrient-rich soil that supports healthier landscapes throughout our community. The compost is free while supplies last, and please remember to bring your own shovel and a container to collect your compost. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dan. Councilmember Wendy Morse.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Bellflower. Mark your calendars. The Parks and Recreation Department is inviting all Bellflower residents to a family dive-in movie night starting at 7 p.m. on Friday, April 10th at the Bellflower Aquatic Center. All ages are welcome to relax in the pool during a screening of Wonder Park, a family-friendly animated movie where the imagination of a creative young girl comes alive in an amusement park run by talking animals. To ensure the safety of guests, flotation devices are not permitted except for Coast Guard-approved life jackets. Admission for the event is $5 a person. For more information, please call 562-804-1424, extension 2268. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Wendy. Tonight we have a presentation by the Kiwanis Club of Bellflower. Mr. Smooth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe Anselmo's here. He's going to come up and give a presentation for us.
Hello, good evening. My name is Anselmo Rocha. I'm currently serving as the president of the Bellflower Kiwanis Club. Just a little background on myself. I am a resident of Bellflower, so this was a great opportunity for me to serve as president and be a member of the club. Majority of the city council members here are also members of the club, so I'm kind of preaching to the choir a little bit, so that makes it a little easy for me. So let me just go over what Kiwanis is and what our club here in Bellflower does, so you guys get to know us a little bit more. All right. So Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. Kiwanis International was founded in 1915 in Detroit, Michigan, USA. Initially focused on business networking, the organization changed its focus to service in 1919, specifically service to children. Over the years, more clubs were created in the US and Canada and worldwide. Today, there are Kiwanis clubs in nearly 50 nations and geographic locations. And a little bit of background about the club here in Bellflower is the big flag that you see off the 91 freeway and Bellflower Boulevard. That is a flag that is sponsored by your local Bellflower Kiwanis Club. They've been doing that since 1974, so we've been keeping the flag up and keeping it nice and pretty there as a representation of Bellflower to the local community there off the 91 freeway. Getting a little more into the motto of Kiwanis. Kiwanis motto, serving the children of the world. Kiwanis will be a positive influence in communities worldwide so that one day all children will make up communities that believe in them, nurture them, and provide the support they need to thrive. Kids need adults who care. That's why people join the Kiwanis Club. There are local groups of like-minded volunteers who make a difference. Friends, neighbors, anyone who loves serving together to change children's lives, all around the world and in the communities like ours. Kiwanis International is serving kids who need us the most. So what we do, so Kiwanis clubs projects are based on community needs. We build playgrounds, purchase medical equipment, stuffed backpacks with school supplies, restock libraries, and more. That's kind of the broader scope of what Kiwanis does. The average Kiwanian makes an impact on the lives of 106 children. That's one Kiwanian impacting 106 children. Every year, Kiwanis members stage more than 1.3 million service projects and raise nearly $390 million in US dollars for children, families, and communities around the world. And getting into specifics of that, our club here in Bellflower, we sponsor key clubs. So before I get into the numbers here, the Bellflower Club sponsors 7 key clubs. If you haven't heard of key clubs, they're leadership service clubs in local high schools. We sponsored Bellflower High School, Cerritos High School, Gar High School, Mayfair High School, Somerset, St. John Bosco, and St. Joseph's. And the club here in Bellflower started, well, the hall was built in 1949, to give you some numbers here, some of the background. Our first fireworks stand was in 1958. The first Bellflower Kiwanis scholarships were given in 1959, and the official Bellflower Kiwanis Foundation was launched in 1960. So with our impact with serving the kids go out and they perform community service events. They have conventions where they get to practice public speaking. These are very high achieving students, usually at the top of their class, that are looking to, for college applications, for extracurricular activity and, community involvement. All of those things are come into play for the kids that want to join Key Club that we sponsor. So what we're trying to accomplish here is, one of the main things we do is we give out scholarships to kids here in Bellflower at the local schools that we sponsor. The Kiwanis Family Scholarship has been around at least 40 years or more. It was once only available to Bellflower High School seniors. While GPA is part of choosing the winner, there has also been consideration for service work, extracurricular activities, and overall need. Early on, some scholarships range between 200 to 500. Obviously, that's increased by a lot now. As the amount of fundraising increased, so did the way we opened the application process. We started including Mayfair High School, and over time opened it to schools and our club-sponsored key clubs, including Bellflower, Mayfair, Gar, St. John Bosco, and St. Joseph's. We have also opened the process to all graduating seniors in the Bellflower Unified School District. So this has to do with our scholarship program. Last year, we were able to give out five $5,000 scholarships to kids that had applied for our program. Our club has a strong history of supporting children of our community over the years. Documenting of the history has faded on the early pioneers that have passed on, but what hasn't changed is the generosity and the desire to impact and help kids in our community and recognize that they can make a difference in the world. Along with the scholarships, we have awarded students who have chosen trade school with gift cards for tools. We have also helped a student graduate from nursing school program at Cerritos College. College is getting more expensive every year. We will continue to try to give the best as we can. And one day I'd love to have an award for someone to become a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, or even a politician, the same community that has a Kiwanis Club that tries to make a difference. So we're trying to give back to the kids in the community, so that they can become leaders. As you can see, there's some pictures of us gathering. So it is business. It is networking. It is fellowship. But we're all there for the common cause to raise money for future leaders here in Bellflower and in the local community. We meet every Friday at the Kiwanis Hall. We also go out too, and we do have some events out, as we could see us out there at Steelcraft. And we're always looking for guests to come present and share what they do in the community, to kind of enhance our knowledge of our local leaders, and to also, create a wider network for us to create greater support for our kids. Thank you again for giving me the time to speak today. It's an honor to be here, and once again, everyone have a good evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Anselmo, for the presentation. And for the benefit of our listening public, we asked one of our service clubs to make a presentation here at the council meeting. A couple of things. One is to explain what they do, because we believe that service clubs are great partners of the city. And secondly, to give you, the audience, the opportunity to join for as members. So you didn't touch on that. If someone wants to become a member, whom should they contact?
Well, I'm somebody you can contact. You can also contact Wendy here. She's our secretary. So Wendy's been a long-time member of the group here.
Okay. But someone listening, watching the video of this city council meeting,
Yes.
if they want to reach out to you, would you like to share your contact information?
So we do have some contact information. Our club does not have a website particular, but you can get information on the Kiwanis website. If you're interested in joining us, you can always email us through there. And I actually brought some membership brochures if anyone else is interested here.
And that's the email address? And that's the
Yes,
phone
but I
that's-
would like to make a clarification. I'm not sure why that phone number's on there. That's City Hall's
that's
phone
City
number.
Hall.
Okay.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a big deal, but I just saw that and I'm like, wait, that's City Hall's phone number.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do
don't
you
call
have
that.
the email address?
Yeah, Kiwanis.org.
Yeah.
Kiwanis.org. Okay. All right. Very good. Any question of Anselmo?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. Next item, public comments. Mr. Smoot.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the time set aside for the public to address the city council on matters not listed on the agenda. Anyone wishing to address the city council should come to the podium, be recognized by the mayor, and state your name for the record. If you wish to address the council on an agenda item, you may do so by approaching the podium as we review that particular item, and you'll be given 3 minutes to address the city council.
Okay. Anyone here would like to speak on a non-agenda item? Please sign in. I know. When I saw you.
I'm the birthday boy, by the way.
Yeah.
78 years old today and feeling great.
And I like your shirt, Larry.
I do too. My name is Larry Wehage, and I'm a proud member of this city. But I'm here tonight to thank some employees. And the story goes like this. One day I was getting ready to go to my brother-in-law's house over in Downey to deliver some homegrown fruits and vegetables. And I placed some stuff on top of my van and then promptly drove away, not realizing that it was on top of the van. I get over to Downey, take care of business, look down for my paperwork that I need for the next stop, and it's not there. I realized I goofed. I knew it was on the roof, but I'd driven off and left it. So I called my wife. She checked the street, nothing there. I drove the route that I'd taken over to Downey, nothing there. And then here comes a phone call from the director of Public Works, that man right there. And Len says, are you missing anything? And I say, well, yes, I am. And he says, well, my crew found it. And it's in my office, and come get it. Now, what most people don't know is that within those items, there was $840 in cash in a bank bag. There was about the same amount of money in checks. This is all for the car show that's coming up in October. And I get to the Public Works office there in Flora Vista, and Len brings the stuff out to me, and everything is there. Now, what I'm saying is, these employees need to be taken to lunch. I don't know their names yet, but I'm going to do my police work, and I'm going to find out who they were. And I'm going to take them to work. But what I want the people in this
You mean to
audience
lunch.
to know that the city has a great staff, outstanding people. Their integrity is beyond reproach. And I suspect that in other cities, the outcome may not have been the same. And I thank you very much for having the ability to hire honest, hardworking individuals. And thank you, Director, for making that phone call. I was a nervous wreck.
All right.
Thank you much.
Thank you, Larry.
You bet.
That's a very good story. All right, anyone else? Don't be shy. Come up. Just please sign in and then state your name for the record.
My name is JD Dizon, and staying here. Hi, Mayor and council members. Thank you for your time. I just wanted to share a couple of things. First, I wanted to follow up on the artwork in the Arts District. I saw that the survey is still up on the city's website, by the way. But the last update I personally received was April 18th of last year. And we're now coming up on almost a year. I was on the public comment on March 10th, 2025. And I just wanted to ask where things are currently stand and if there are any updates you can share. I believe the last phone call I also had was in April sometime with Elizabeth, and it's also an email I received, and there was nothing collected for that survey. So and I still can type it up, and the survey's still there. So just FYI, it's still there. So I don't know if I should forward it to people or maybe not, and so I haven't. And second, I wanted to get a quick update on our Bellflower Gardening Group. I'm the president of the Bellflower Gardening Club. And since my last public comment on May 27th, we've been able to build a small group of 6 to 12 people. And we now meet every second Thursday of the month at T. Main Thompson Park, Room C. I wanted to thank PJ Milana and Mayor Sunny Santa Ynez for the support, especially for coming out on March 12th for our meeting. That really meant a lot to me as we're building this group from the ground up. We're continuing to grow and bring in more gardeners, and also notice we were mentioned in the recreational book that I think goes quarterly. So thank you for that. It's on the senior section. I did want to ask, would it be possible for our meeting to be included in early announcements when you do here today, maybe even during the city meetings, or so that way people on YouTube and our residents can hear more about our club? And is there a way for us to be added to the city website, maybe under Parks and Recreation, or even the latest news section with our meeting info and maybe a photo? We're really just trying to get the word out and build something consistent for the community. And PJ today, thank you for him as well. He gave us some opportunities to work with the city, like whether it's planning, beautification, or community projects. And I heard there's an Earth Day event on April 25th. So I'm going to talk with the members of our club and see who's going to be available to do that. And we would like to have activities. If you have any recommendations for us to do, be mindful, majority of our members are seniors. So thanks again for your time, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Smoot, do we have any update on the Arts District? I know that.
I'm going to ask Beth to come up for a minute.
Mhm.
Mr. Mayor, yes, we do have an update on the Arts District. We just had our kickoff meeting with our consultant last week. We talked about the Arts District again, trying to get it going once again. You're probably going to see the project back before the council at your potentially the July meeting date is what we're aiming for. So the consultant has their marching orders. They have an idea of what they're going to do. And then the next step is essentially to present you an outline of how to go about establishing this district as it relates to the zoning aspect of it. And you should be hearing that probably at your July meeting.
Okay, all right, very good. And the other question about the
Announcements and such.
announcements, yeah.
I would just gave Wangsu the look. We can go ahead and add
Yeah,
that in.
okay, we'll look into that. All right. All right, very good, thank you. Anyone else? All right. Seeing none, we're gonna move on. Item 12A, public hearings, we have 12A. Mr. Smoot.
Mr. Mayor, I'm actually going to make a recommendation to you for both of these items, 12A and 12B, that you open the public hearings and then continue these items. It can be one motion if you so choose. But continue these items to your next meeting. The reason being the developer and I are still working through some of the details of the development agreement that's necessary for this project to move forward. And I'd like to make sure that's complete and as thorough as possible before we bring it before you. So with your permission, I'd like to request you continue those items to your next meeting.
So open the public hearing and then continue this item for.
Correct, just in
next-
case there's anybody in the audience who might want to speak this
For the
evening.
next meeting?
Correct,
Okay,
which would be April 13th, I believe.
April 15th, okay, very good. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion
Um,
by Councilmember Willie Morse.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I believe we do have conflicts on this item.
Oh,
Oh, you know what, I'm
Councilmember
sorry,
Morse.
12A and 12B, I'm
12.
conflicted.
okay.
So let me walk out.
I guess we will not take
So
your
remove
motion.
my motion. Thank you, Myra.
I'll take
All
the
right.
motion.
And my, I'm conflicted for property.
It's okay. All right,
Try again, Victor.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion to open the public hearing on
For
items
bo-
12A and 12B.
And I'll second the motion.
motion by Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez, seconded by Councilmember Coops to open the public hearing on 12A and 12B. Is
Date
there
certain
anyone-
of April 15, wasn't it?
Yeah, to continue.
Yeah.
But is there anyone here who would
Yeah.
like to speak on this item? And who could not make it to the April next meeting?
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to continue both items to the you want to what, next meeting?
Your next meeting is April 13th.
April 13th,
Okay, April
April
13th.
13th.
You guys are making me work on my wife's birthday?
I would never do such a thing.
All right, till April 13th.
I'll second the motion.
You can take her to breakfast and lunch.
Yeah, I'll take it, yeah.
Okay, all right. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez, seconded by Councilmember Coops to continue this item 12A and 12B to April 13th meeting. And without objection, that will be the order. All right. Next item, I guess, can someone get? All right, item 13A, Mr. Smooth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think our city clerk, Myra, is going to go ahead and take this one, and then we're happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Mr. Smoot. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. I will be providing a verbal report for this item. Currently, official publications must be made in a newspaper of general circulation within the jurisdiction. The city publishes legal notices in the Los Cerritos Community News newspaper as directed by the City Council since 2022. Draft ordinance number 1453 and Bellflower Municipal Code Chapter 1.18 preserves state law publication requirements for matters of statewide concern and authorizes the city to select lawful publication methods for municipal affair matters where state law does not prescribe a specific method. The ordinance does not eliminate any state-mandated notice requirement and clarifies when publication is governed by state law and when the city may exercise local discretion under the charter. The Bellflower City Charter grants the City Council authority over municipal affairs and authorizes the council to implement the charter by ordinance or resolution. If adopted, this ordinance adds Chapter 1.18 to the Bellflower Municipal Code to establish a charter-based framework for publishing city ordinances, resolutions, notices, and other official city actions. Establishing Chapter 1.18 gives the city the greatest flexibility in meeting its publication requirements. Again, it retains the state-mandated noticing requirements while providing flexibility for matters that are strictly municipal affairs. I will be working with the city manager and city attorney to provide direction to staff in the form of an administrative policy and procedure regarding publication requirements. The city attorney, city manager, and I are happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I read the staff report. For the benefit of our watching public, in a nutshell, what is the difference between the proposed ordinance versus what the current practice is?
The ordinance established a way for the city to have more flexibility in municipal affairs only. So if it is mandated by the state that we publish in the newspaper of general circulation, then we will continue to do so.
But if it's for municipal affairs, we can just basically do the website, posting at specific locations that are accessible to the public, like parks, Thompson Park, Sims Park, and Carruthers Park.
Correct. And those are similar requirements to those jurisdictions that do not have a newspaper of general circulation.
Yeah, okay, very good. Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez, you have
Thank
any
you.
question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick question for staff. What were the criterias that were evaluated to identify these two specific newspapers, if any?
Is that from 2022, the newspapers from 2022?
No, for what's being proposed tonight. You're proposing that two specific circulated newspapers be identified for future use, correct?
For now, there are no newspapers identified. We currently publish in Los Cerritos Community Newspaper. However, we would like to look into a publication that publishes daily.
Okay.
Los Cerritos Community News does publish once a week on Fridays. And so for, again, greater flexibility, we would like to look into a publication that would offer a daily publication, in addition to what we're currently doing.
So for me to understand this correctly, so you're gonna go looking for a newspaper to actually publish, or you said flexibility.
Correct. So we will continue to use Los Cerritos Community Newspaper, but for those circumstances where we need a little bit more flexibility, where something comes up and we've missed the publication deadline, or something needs to get done quicker, then we would have that flexibility to be able to reach out to a different publication.
Right now, with limited publication time frames, we've hit this a couple of times where in order to make a council agenda, for instance, we have to get that to the newspaper publisher by a specific date, and if we miss that by a day, let's say, we have to wait a whole month to get.
Yeah,
the
and I
newspaper to
understand
council.
we've had some of those issues.
Yeah, exactly.
In the past.
And sometimes it's us, and sometimes it's that newspaper didn't get that email from us or completely missed it, whatever it might be. We
So
want to
the
be
m-
able to have an additional outlet if we can do it.
So in other words, the more the merrier, right? Because there's other local ones like the Press, LB Press, the Downey Patriot, the Norwalk Patriot as well, available for our use.
Yes, so we're just expanding our options to be able to pivot when we need to.
So this would allow you to go to any of those mentioned today.
It would allow you to go, I mean, the specific newspapers will be set separately, but this will allow you the ability to do that. Remember, this is all coming from your charter, so this is relatively new that you have the ability to do this at all. Previously, this was mandated by state law. I would expect that in most instances, you're probably not going to see a lot of change from what we normally do. When we need to, and we are able to exercise this under some of our municipal affairs authority, under the charter, we have another option to be able to do
Right.
that. We have an additional avenue. So to your point, yes, it opens up a world of options for us as opposed to being tied to very specific timelines and outlets within state law.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Any other questions?
No, that was great clarification.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Morse?
No, my clarification was exactly what Victor was asking. It's opening us to be able to use other,
More options.
more
yeah.
options than just
Yeah.
one or two that was voted on
Yeah.
in 2022. Okay.
Because we had a couple of occasions wherein we need to postpone an item, right? Because he didn't make it on time.
Yes, that's happened a few times, to
Yeah,
be honest.
okay. All right.
Yes.
Councilmember Coops?
My questions have been answered.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Any comments from the public? There being none, okay. What's your pleasure?
I'll make a stab at it on this. Consider it possible action to read by title only, waive further reading. Introduce ordinance number 1453, an ordinance adding chapter 1.18 to the Bellflower Municipal Code to establish publication requirements for official city actions pursuant to the city charter.
There a second?
I'll
Apparently
second.
not.
I guess. Motion by Councilmember Coops and a second by Councilmember Morse to introduce ordinance number 1453. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez,
Aye.
Councilmember Coops,
Aye.
Councilmember Morse,
Aye.
Mayor Santenaz.
Aye. All right, we're moving along here. There's no item for consideration. Moving on to consent calendar. Any recusals?
I have a
Any conflicts?
recusal on 15H. I have a conflict, a property conflict.
15A?
H. sorry,
15H, 15H, okay. Does anyone want to pull an item?
I do a conflict on
Oh,
item number I,
aye, okay,
because I have property near the park,
okay,
and then D like David.
okay.
Again, I have a property near the New Hope's shelter.
Okay,
So those two I will be out on.
15I and 15D.
Correct.
All right. Does anyone want to pull an item?
Nope.
No? I'd like to pull item 15G. Just for a couple of questions. All right, Dana, this is your second time, right, to make a presentation?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, okay. You'll be okay. Thank you for this very comprehensive matrix. Couple of questions. One is, in your experience as the risk manager, what do you think of the matrix from JPIA? What's your overall observation?
So
Are they reasonable? Are they too strict, too loose? Or what's your overall evaluation?
good evening, Mayor.
I'm asking the
and
question because I'm
yeah.
on the executive board. That's very,
So
Butter him up.
yeah, I do think the CJPIA's matrix is more comprehensive than the matrix that was provided today. And the reason why is there's 126 member cities under the risk pool for CJPIA, which a lot of other cities offer additional agreements that they would contract with compared to our city. So this matrix that's provided to you today is a shortened version
Mhm.
of CJPIA's matrix. It's easier for our vendors and our employees to read.
is it reasonable?
I would say yes, it is reasonable, and the reason why is we want to ensure the risk transfer onto the vendors to protect the city. And if we do not transfer over the risk to our vendors, our annual contribution every single year would continue to increase. The Finance Committee meeting with CJPIA is talking about a 15% surcharge for fiscal year 27, and we really want to be sure that the surcharge does not apply to our city.
Okay, very good. Now, on the flip side, in terms of the impact on our city's operations, what do you think is going to be, will this make make our city better covered if we adopt the matrix?
Yes, definitely. The matrix right now does not include a few completed operations endorsements, waiver of subrogation, and that's required, and it will align with JPIA's risk manual and guidelines right now that our current matrix does not have.
Okay. And how about, because I came across a couple of situations wherein a couple of vendors in the past were unable, or there was a long delay in terms of processing the contracts with them because of our requirements. Can you explain that? How will this change impact that process?
So there will be a few changes. One of our processes right now is in our city attorney's agreement for any vendors who are using umbrella or excess policies to cover the CGL policy insurance limits. The city currently requires the vendor to provide us the umbrella policy. Out of 126 cities under the CJPA's 7 regions, it's not common or industry best practice to ask to review the entire umbrella policy. And it's been making it really difficult for vendors to ask their broker for a full umbrella review policy for the city to review. We will be removing that practice, and it would make things more efficient for us to have a completed, executed contract.
It's going to be more efficient, but we're still going to be covered at some point in time, right?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
Can you just explain briefly regarding the low risk, medium risk, and high risk coverage in terms of examples so that the listening public can kind of appreciate the changes that we're trying to make here?
Of course. So an example of a high risk project, let's just say the city has a tree maintenance project. And that project will be high risk because it's public exposure, it's hazard. If a tree limb falls, and let's just say it falls and injures someone, hypothetically, if the contract is $200,000, the claim that comes in could be anywhere upwards of $1 million. So we want to make sure that high-risk contracts like a tree trimming maintenance contract has enough insurance coverage if the city were to receive a claim so that their insurance can cover that. So let's just say, for example, if we were to waive that, if that vendor comes to us and says, hey, we really want to do business with you, but we do not have the insurance, can you please waive it? If the city agrees to waive that insurance, if a claim were to come in, then the city could potentially be liable to pay those costs. And the purpose of CJPIA, for us to be a member of the risk pool, the city has up to $50 million in coverage. And out of 20 years, CJPIA's 126 member cities, not Bellflower, one city has pierced the $50 million coverage. And anything over the $50 million, the city was liable for the coverage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one important thing to note is that annually, the city receives the annual contributions from CJPIA. Currently, right now, it's looking like a 30% increase for next year. But every single year, CJPIA takes our loss ratio of the city and determines how much our liability coverage will be. So it's important to emphasize that we should try to keep our losses as low as possible.
Okay. Can you give us an example of a low risk
Yes.
coverage?
Yeah, so a low risk would be an example. Let's just say there is a vendor, an IT vendor, that is doing contract work for our websites. And let's just say if the agreement contract was $2,000 annually, they're not driving, we can waive the auto because they're most likely doing work from home, from their computer, not driving to our site, not doing anything for the city using a vehicle. That we can waive. There's low risk. There's not risk of them coming to the city, getting injured, or they're just providing information to the city for reviewing the city's website. So that's an example.
Okay.
A medium risk would be, let's just say there's a $25,000 contract in regarding, let's see, a carpet install. Yes. So, so that is a medium. Thank you.
They're on site. and-
Yes,
yeah,
they're
okay.
on site. So that I wouldn't particularly recommend waiving any of the insurances. However, the insurances will be lower than a roofing contract, than a tree trimming maintenance contract. So there are levels of risk to assess every time we think about wanting to waive insurance requirements for a
Okay.
vendor.
What is the process to waive the insurance requirements?
So a vendor would essentially work with the analyst working that is finishing up the agreement, and they would recommend, hey, I would like to waive, let's just say, work comp. If a vendor is a sole proprietor that does not have employees and is not required to have workers' comp insurance, they can ask to waive workers' comp. We would then send them a form, an attestation form, under penalty and perjury of them assuming
I see.
duties. If they were to get injured, the city is not liable for your workers' comp coverage, and they would sign that.
Okay.
So
all
they
right.
would essentially ask the city, hey, can you waive it? And then the city manager or the designee, alongside with the city attorney's office, would make that determination whether we can waive the insurance or not.
Okay. All right. Very good.
And Mr. Mayor,
Very good. Yes.
I might add just briefly, you all through your strategic plan, you asked us to review our internal processes and procedures to see where we could find some efficiencies. This was the top of our list. One of the reasons Dana is here in the first place is we brought in a human resources manager and risk manager for this purpose. Her first charge out the gate bringing her in was to review not only this risk management process, but our agreements process and streamline both things to make them run a little bit more efficiently. The other half of that, the agreements process, she's been able to work with the clerk's office, streamline that process a little bit. And now coming back before you with this, we've been able to streamline this process a little bit. Already, we've streamlined it from an administrative side, where Dana is now reviewing some of these insurance requirements as opposed to Carl's team, an outside firm, attorneys reviewing umbrella coverage. Dana's reviewing these with direct contact with our staff on a daily basis to review some of these contract requirements so that they move through our process a little bit quicker. This gives us a little more flexibility in the requirements themselves.
Yeah. I'm very pleased with these changes because just like what you said, it's going to provide efficiency. At the same time, we're still going to be covered. So we're not losing that at all.
Not at
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Any question?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez.
Thank you. Quick question. I know we've had conversations about the Parks and Rec Department and certain programming within that. Does this touch on that as well, or will it in the future?
I'm not sure which programming we're referring to.
With just, complex, sometimes the difficulties of agencies or smaller organizations getting full coverage or things of that nature.
You mean like someone coming to use our facilities?
Right.
I would say, depending on what the contract was and what they were trying to do, it might give us a little more flexibility in that. But this isn't necessarily dedicated directly at that. It's more dedicated to someone who has a direct contract with the city to do something, as opposed to someone who might be just,
Right. I
permitting
guess
one
I'll
of our
rephrase the
facilities or
question as
things.
more of so is this kind of a conversation starter in that direction as well? Because we've talked about having those kind of conversations.
Yes, I would. To your point, yes, this is a first step looking at our internal processes when we're contracting with someone to provide a service for us on our behalf that we would otherwise normally be providing. What you're referring to is more along the lines of someone obtaining a permit to use one of our facilities, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Or programming, same thing, right?
Yeah.
Providing programming for the
Oh,
community.
I'm sorry.
whether-
If someone's providing a program, like a contractor on behalf of the city providing a class or something, certainly, maybe there's a low-risk class and a low-risk contract that might have some ability to waive some of these requirements.
Yeah.
Yes, in that certain circumstance, yes, it would apply to that.
Perfect.
Excuse me.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Appreciate it.
It'll be considered low risk, and we can work with each vendor to determine the waiving authority to figure out the risk assessment of what they're doing.
That's great news. It was awesome. Good job over there, Mr.
All right.
Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Any question? All right. Very good. All right. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar, noting that Councilmember Morse is recused on 15H and Councilmember Coops on 15I and 15D?
Motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez, seconded by Councilmember Wendy Morse to approve consent calendar with these recusals. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez.
Aye.
Councilmember Morse.
Aye.
Councilmember Coops.
Aye.
Mayor Santenaz.
Aye. All right, council reports. Councilmember Coops.
Okay. So I have several members of the community who have passed away that are friends of mine that I would like to dedicate and adjourn our meeting tonight in their honor. And first one is Reverend James Koch. Jim's lived in Bellflower a long time. He actually grew up in Bellflower and then moved away and came back. And he passed away on February 17th, 2026 at the age of 90. And he was a beloved husband and father to 4, grandfather to 9, and he was a great pastor. He was never met a stranger. He's a graduate of Calvin College in Michigan and Calvin Seminary. And he had pastorates in Iowa City, Iowa, and Pine Rest Christian Psychiatric Hospital in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And his later mission was working at the Crystal Cathedral in Garden Grove with Reverend Schuler. And he was a prolific writer. He wrote 7 books. He had a column that he wrote for his denomination called The Banner for many years. He's survived by his wife Linda and his children, Julia Anderson, daughters Meg and Larkin, Andrew Koch, wife Carol. And he came from a family of 9, so he still survives by some of his siblings. But he's now in heaven with his parents and siblings, Woody, Marv, Faith, and Mary. And his services were held at the Shepherd's Grove in Irvine this past Saturday, March 21st. That's my first one. Second is a friend of mine, Willard George Brink. We know him as George. George, born February 3rd, 1950, passed away March 5th, 2026, in his home. 76 years old. Born in Downey, California, and probably like me, the only reason he wasn't born in Bellflower, there was no hospital in Bellflower in the 1950s until later. And he was born to his parents, Andriana and Willard George Brink Sr. George graduated from Valley Christian High in 1968, where he loved playing football and running track. He attended Cerritos College. In 1972, he met Judy, the love of his life, and they were married on August 31st, 1973. They are blessed with 2 children, Lori and Michael. And in 2000, Lori married Dennis Vandenberg. And in 2008, Michael married Amy Griffin. George took pride in being grandfather to his grandchildren, Allison, Rory, and Audrey. George began his career with Alpha Beta Markets, working in the truck lot, but he was soon promoted to manage the meat warehouse. It was discovered that he had a real estate license and was selling real estate on the side, so they promoted him inside the company's real estate department, and he nurtured that progress until the point where Staples recruited him, and he was responsible for acquiring new locations for the Staples Corporation on anything west of the Mississippi River. He enjoyed that position until 1997 when he retired. One of the things that George did was he would find property in Bellflower, develop it, and then either sell it, but many of them he still retains ownership of. And that was kind of his sideline, and he turned that into a full-time job. But he was really good at it. Him and his wife developed Brink Property Management, and they're prominent property managers here in the city of Bellflower. A celebration of life was held Friday, March 20th at 10:30 in the morning at First Christian Reformed Church in Bellflower. And in lieu of flowers, donations were made to the Artesia Christian Home or the First Christian Reformed Church of Bellflower. Again, George was an active part of our community for many, many years, and he's going to be missed. But he was doing fine, and then a couple Thursday nights ago, he had a massive heart attack, and that was the end of George. Last one is another friend of mine, Kenneth Ray Koss. Kenneth Ray Koss, he's a little younger. He was born on March 24th, 1954, to his father Bermudez and Elsie Koss in Hanford, California. And they lived there in Lemoore until a chicken ranch, until his parents decided to get out of the chicken ranch and come to live in Lakewood when he was 8 years old. And attended Mayfair High School and had a paper route around here, and he went to work at McCoy's Markets. Now, many of you may not remember what McCoy's Markets, but that was a significant market on the corner of Ramona and Bellflower Boulevard. You can find now the Jack in the Box restaurant. In 1981, he was recruited to go to work for Vaughn's Grocery, and he worked there for 35 years as a manager in many of their stores. Ken met his wife Lene at Bell One Christian Reformed Church in Bellflower, the same church that I mentioned previously that Willard George Brink attended. And they dated for 3 years, and they were married in 1975. And they bought their first house, and he had the same idea as George, as to buy property, renovate it, live in it, sell it, and move on to the next house. But thankfully, they live in the same house now for the last 35 years. And they have 2 children, Keith and Kimberly. And in fact, their son Keith bought a house. He liked the neighborhood so well that he bought a house immediately across the street from his mom and dad. Ken enjoyed dabbling in real estate. As I mentioned, he had rentals here in Bellflower that he built and then rented out and kept. And he loved to go on fishing trips. He'd bring back tuna and halibut on the deep sea fishing trips. He loved to golf with his friends. He was a great golfer. But until his health started to fail, he continued that as long as he could. Barbecue as well. His wife tells me the story of how when he retired and she was still working, he would watch a lot of cooking shows and then utilize what he learned on television and turn that into fantastic dinners when she'd come home at night. It was all the things he had learned how to prepare. And she said, I ate food that I never thought he could come up with, but it was really cool what he did. Services for him are going to be held on March 27th, this coming Friday, and at the church Seacoast Grace. And he volunteered for me. He was on the planning commission when I first got on city council many years ago. He was able to work with me on the planning commission because he had done so many things in property. I felt he would be a good addition to the city and how to improve it. And so those are the 3 folks that I'm going to adjourn our memory of, is James Cock, Willard George Brink, and Kenneth Koss. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Right, thank you, Dan. Councilmember Morse.
No, I have no comments.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will just briefly touch on it, but I'm going to leave the meat of the conversation for you. I just wanted to say that this Tuesday was a great event downtown LA, Kenneth Hahn's building. It was a pleasure to attend with you and our director, Milana, of Parks and Recreation. And I'll let you speak to the awesomeness that it was.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's number one. Thanks to staff, actually, Public Works and Parks and Recreation Department. We received two grants from the county through Measure A. One is a $4 million grant for the Sims Park. It's going to be taking care of the stormwater project. I think the budget for that project is about $15 million or more than that.
Total?
Yes.
23 to 25.
$26 million. So we got $4 million from the county. So that project's going to move forward as we discussed at the previous meeting. The second grant was close to $500,000 for a planning grant to make Andy's Nursery into an active park. So we're going to be, that's the vision, is to have some kind of, make it a multi-purpose park. So that's going to be a long project, but at least we have some money to start planning for it. So it was a great day. The county, through Measure A, granted a total of $78 million, and we were one of the recipient of the largest grants from the county. So it was a good day. And one of the council members, one of the board of supervisors, I think it was Supervisor Hilda Solis, that she wishes that they can do it every day. Well, that's a long shot. $78 million to be granted every day. That's a lot of money. I'll be happy if they can do it every 6 months. So anyway, it was a good day for Bellflower, receiving more than almost $4.5 million. The Andy's Nursery is along the St. Gabriel River.
Yeah, parallel to the St.
It used to be a nursery before, and then the city acquired that property. And to make the long story short, there have been a lot of inquiries about it to be developed as housing and something like that. But there's a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to utilities, because especially Edison, they would not allow us to cross the utility line. So, but anyway, we'll find a way to make it a park, and that's going to be part of the planning process. All right. The second thing is today, Councilmember Coops and I attended the award ceremony for Soroptimist International Bellflower. They gave out 3 awards. That's the Live Your Dreams Award, and I was Congratulations to Sir Optimist Club of Bellflower for handing out those awards. They really helped these three women. They're giving out $2,000, two $1,000 award scholarships and one $2,000 scholarships to help them navigate to their educational experience. One of the things that came out of that is these ladies had a lot of challenges in their life, and basically this scholarship will be a big help for them. And I really admire Sir Optimist because there's no strings attached. It's not really, they're not mandated to use the money for schools. They can use it for anything they need to really help them in their education. It can be used for housing, can be used for food, and anything that they need to do. So again, congratulations to Sir Optimist International of Bellflower. And also, to follow Councilmember Coop's lead, I'd like to also adjourn this meeting tonight in memory of Reuben Knight. Reuben Knight was born on August 14, 1936, and passed away on February 15, 2026, at the age of 89. He was born in Laurel, Mississippi, and later moved to Los Angeles, eventually becoming a longtime resident of the city of Bellflower. Reuben graduated with honors from John H. Fremont High School and earned an associate degree, arts degree from Cerritos College, consistently making the Dean's Honors List. At an early age, Reuben enlisted in the U.S. Army. He became disabled after 4 years of service. He worked at United Airlines from 1970 to 1990s as a customer service representative and flight attendant supervisor, earning recognition for his compassion, honesty, and reliability. Reuben was a long-term member of the Knights of Columbus and was always ready to help others whenever he was needed. I fondly call him Double Knight because he's a Knight of Columbus and his last name is Knight. So he will be remembered for his humor, compassion, and perseverance, and will be deeply missed by all who knew him. He's survived by his wife, Regina Panganiban, children Catherine, Carrie, and Karen, grandchildren Sydney, Jordan, Ryan, and Trevor, siblings Charles D.L. Wright, Edna Cooley, and many nieces, nephews, and cousins. He was buried at the Riverside National Cemetery with full military honors. Our deepest sympathies and heartfelt condolences go out to the entire Knight family. So with that, we are going to adjourn this meeting tonight in memory of Reuben Knight, William George Brink, James Koch, and Kenneth Koss, to the next regular meeting of the Bellflower City Council at 5:30 p.m. on Monday, April 13, 2026. This meeting is now adjourned.